Go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners are in session again, and we welcome President Wagner.
Thank you.
Welcome. We're excited to get to know you, and I'm grateful that you've decided to come to ISU.
Thank you.
Go ahead and just we'll give you some time to introduce yourself and any questions you have for us.
Sure. Well, thank you very much. First of all, I really appreciate this opportunity. I've been looking forward to have the chance to meet with you. I'm a firm believer in the town-gown relationship, which is a great way of describing the way that an institution like Idaho State University works with its surrounding communities. That's something that's very important to me. It's something that I believe in. A little bit of my background. I've spent the last 16 and a half years down in Cache Valley in Logan, Utah. I was at Utah State University, served in various roles and capacities. One of the reasons why I believe so strongly in community relationships is I spent a number of years while at Utah State University working with our statewide campus system where Utah State University has multiple campuses located across the estate, and each one of those campuses is unique. The way it contributes to the local economy, the way it interacts with the community itself, and so that was really a tutoring opportunity for me to really learn the impact that higher education can play within communities. My own education background, I got my bachelor's degree at Brigham Young University. I got a master's in public administration from the University of Utah. And then I got my doctorate degree at SUNY Albany at the Rockefeller College of Public Affairs and Policy. And actually my dissertation and area of focus was on university engagement with industry and with government. And so all along my time, that has been relationships that the institution can have with external entities is something that I've been very interested in and not only studied, but then again, it's been part of my professional experience. I'm really excited to be here at Idaho State. It's a fantastic institution. I was not looking to leave Utah State, but when the opportunity presented itself, knowing that Cache Valley is 90 miles away, I feel very comfortable in these communities. There's a lot of similarities. I said during the search as I was meeting with people that it's a soft border between northern Utah and southeast Idaho, and I feel really comfortable in these communities. These are good people, good, hardworking people, and I feel at home here. I felt welcome. My wife Tracy, we have 5 kids. They're all adults now. 3 of them are married. We have 3 grandkids, so we're kind of in between. The president's house here at Idaho State is still being worked on. They determined some necessary repairs that needed to be done to the 1917 house before we moved in. So they are using some deferred maintenance dollars from the state to make some necessary repairs. So my wife Tracy is still at our home in Cache Valley. We didn't want to have to move our furniture twice, so she kind of goes back and forth depending on the events that we have. But for the last 6.5 weeks, I've actually lived in an Airbnb in Chubbuck and enjoying that. It's been fun getting to know the area, and again, I just have fallen in love with this institution and the variety and depth and the way that it serves students and the way that it serves the community. And I want to be engaged. I want to be very much external. I want to be out representing the institution, working with our constituencies, working with friends of the institution, working with the community to say, how could Idaho State University better serve? And having a relationship with you, with the county, is something that's very, very important to me. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, but that's a little bit about me. I should add that I appreciate Jen Forche. She's my chief of staff, and appreciate her joining me. She's been an incredible help. She served Kevin Satterley very, very effectively, and one of the best decisions I could make was to say, you're not going anywhere. And she has really helped during the transition.
Well, we had regular meetings with President Satterley and enjoyed that. We've tried in different areas to join together in some activities. Some of them we've had success, some of them we haven't had success. But we still appreciate and love the relationship and the university being right here. So I'm Ernie Moser. I'm in District 1, and so I live in Ingham. In the southern end of the valley of the county is the district I represent, but the way things are set up, all people in the county vote for the, you don't have to live in that district. So we represent everybody in the county. I've been a commissioner now for this is my 6th year. By January it'll be my 6th year. John, tell them a little about yourself.
I'm the junior commissioner, so I was elected last election, and so I've only been sitting here since January of last year, so a little over a year. But I represent District 3, which is Pocatello proper. Yeah. We actually have something a little bit in common.
SUNY Maritime?
That's right.
Yeah.
Boy, you done your research already?
I do my research, absolutely. I was going to ask you about
all right.
So that's quite the background that you have.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I don't recall recently meeting, or in quite a while, meeting anybody else from the SUNY system. So.
You know, when I testified before, I believe it's the Senate Education Committee, and I'm still learning names, but one of our state senators is a SUNY Albany graduate.
Okay.
And it was really fun to get to know him, and we dropped a couple Go Great Danes, and it was fun. But yeah, we don't. Out west, you don't meet a lot of
That's right.
SUNY grads, so it's a pleasure.
Yeah, same here.
I'm Commissioner Jeff Huff, and I'm your neighbor in Chubbuck. I don't know where you're living in Chubbuck, but I live out in Chubbuck, so I'm District Number 2, where I'm elected from. Been here 3.5 years, I think, something like that, and pretty excited to have you here. But I do have a question. Throughout your career, how have you seen your doctorate help you bridge that gap between the corporate world and education?
You know, that's a great question, Commissioner. Thank you very much. So I didn't mention, but my first career, coming out of Brigham Young University, I actually was hired to be a seminary and institute teacher for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and did that for about 7 years, served as a principal. And it was a great experience, loved it, had a fun teaching. But something towards the end, and then in between that time, I took a year off and joined a family business. My father owned a stock brokerage firm, and as my brother and sister and he and I went into investment banking, and so I've done the entrepreneurial and owning your own business thing, and all the fun and heartache that goes along with that, and we had both. But as I was contemplating a future and what I wanted to do, both my wife and I felt that there was something else that we were very, very interested in, something else that I needed to be doing. I knew, though, that outside of the Intermountain West, a background and experience in seminary teaching for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints might look a little interesting on on a resume. So one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about higher education is that for me, my degrees open doors. So rather than job experience, which I knew I needed to have if I was going to go into something else, I knew that I could supplement that with education experience. And so getting my master's degree, which focused on public policy, and then my doctorate degree, which was public policy and public law. I actually went into that field thinking that I would find myself in government relations and corporate government relations work. And so education was a way for me to bridge the gap and lack of experience that I felt that I had. In pursuing that doctorate degree, that's when I found myself working in the president's office of SUNY Albany, became a special assistant and actually did government relations for the institution, New York State politics, which is pretty intense. But that education experience opened doors. And my focus was very practical. I knew I wasn't, when I left with my doctorate degree, I knew I probably wasn't going to go the traditional faculty route. So I went straight into administration. But later on, I've followed the traditional faculty route. I've advanced in my faculty roles. I've continued to teach. I taught for a number of years. Intro to American government, I believe very, very strongly in our American government and democracy, the republic that we have. So Education Commissioner opened the doors and gave me the experience that I needed to be able to do something completely different as a profession than what I had been doing at that time.
Thank you.
It's not very often that I get asked that. I love the fact that you asked me that because it's a story I'd love to tell. Again, that's why I'm so passionate about higher education and how it can transform lives and it can change whether you're an 18-year-old fresh out of high school or whether you're a 40-year-old. I got my bachelor's degree newly married. I got my master's degree with 3.5 kids, and I got my doctorate degree with 5 kids. And it was hard, it was challenging, but there was a return on that investment of money and time that I'll be grateful for.
So goals and direction that you have for the university, and how can we as commissioners help you?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I recognize and know as I come to Idaho State that President Satterley did an outstanding job, and I just want to go on the record as commending him and commending his leadership team. They have really, the last 5.5 years, positioned Idaho State University with incredible momentum going forward. I recognize that with my experience in higher education administration, knowing the position that the institution's in internally. That was something that President Satterley worked very, very hard. He oversaw a cultural change internally within the institution that was incredibly important, that needed to happen. So as I come on board now, first of all, I tell people that my first job, to use a surfing analogy, is to just stay on the board. There's a great wave that's moving Idaho State forward, good momentum, and I want to be able to ride that wave and be able to continue the momentum. We have a good strategic plan that goes through 2027. It was something that the institution itself engaged in. I believe in it. I like it from a strategic plan sense. It's a good, solid plan. There are some things that we can do, though. And when that's 2024 is different than 2021 and 2022 when the strategic plan was done. Higher education is changing all the time. And so part of my responsibility out of the gate is to help position the university with the momentum that it has to not only to continue to go in a positive direction, but embrace and really drive impact. And so the areas of focus that I'm initially working on is number one, collaboration. I want to collaborate both internally within the institution, getting our colleges and departments and units working together, but externally, collaborating with our communities, with government, with industry. That's incredibly important. Number two is access. We're a state institution. And we're a unique state institution in that we offer degrees and certificates, credentials from a tech certificate clear up to a doctoral degree. We also have the health sciences mission within the state. Our relationship with Idaho National Laboratories in Idaho Falls is incredibly important. So providing access is critical. So first, collaboration. Second is access. Number three is being impactful, finding ways that we can impact the state and impact our communities. Idaho State University is a research institution. There's a need in this country for research institutions. The work that they do is incredibly important, how they can eventually help provide economic development. It's foundational in so many ways to positioning the United States in the world market, if you will. There's great expertise at Idaho State from, again, the health sciences to nuclear engineering. So really making sure that we're feeding that research engine and that Idaho State continues to serve. The last area is being bold. Higher education in 2024, you need to be bold. We need to take risks. We can't sit back and just do business as usual. The institutions that are doing that, frankly, are going to fail. We need to be bold. We need to try new things. We need to embrace the challenges that we face. We need to own the challenges that higher education faces and say we can do better and we can be better. So I really see in those areas my relationship with you as commissioners and working with the commissioners, with the county, being present and saying, as Idaho State University's president, sitting before you and saying, we are here. We're in your county. We're in our county. We want to be good stewards. We want to be participants. We want to engage. We want to serve. We want to contribute, and we want to drive impact. I'll say that here. I'll say that with our campus in Meridian. I'll say that with our campus in Idaho Falls. And so, Commissioner, whatever I can do as president to embrace that role for Idaho State University to now reach out and say, how can we be more impactful in our communities? That's what I want to do. I love ideas. I love a good whiteboard with a couple whiteboard markers. I love just exploring and experimenting. Pilots are pilot activities, pilot initiatives are some of my favorite things to do because that's how we find out what works. And so let's be creative, let's be innovative, let's find things that we can work on and collaborate together on so that these communities can benefit.
Well, we're more than willing to help. I mean, a lot of times in collaboration and stuff, going up to the legislature or anything else, the governor, or any contacts that we have and stuff, we're more than willing to contribute and move forward in a very positive direction.
I could see one thing that I'd like to do this next year, and I kind of fell into the legislative session when I started on January 29th. In fact, my first day was in Boise. But
Sorry.
Yeah, it ended up being a positive day, but I'd say it would be a good idea next year as we approach the legislative session, as we get into fall semester, towards the end of fall, we get a sense that what we as an institution, how we want to position ourselves at the legislature. I mean, we'll meet, of course, more frequently before then, but I think one idea that you inspired me with is we should come and we should sit down and talk, and we should talk about the institutional's agenda that we have with the state legislature to see where that fits and how that connects with the county's agenda that you might have, and how can we help each other, and what synergy can we realize. So that's something that we will commit to doing this fall, late fall, as we work towards January 2025.
That'd be good, that'd be good. And I'm sorry to these two, I didn't introduce them. Nancy, she's been, how long have you been with the county?
10 years.
And she's our rock in here. She has all the answers. Our legal team isn't always here, but Nancy knows the answers. And then, so we appreciate her. And then Braden,
I haven't been here as long as Nancy. I don't know as much as Nancy yet, but I'm learning. So
And-
about 2.5 years.
And a good Bengal, too.
I did my best.
Yeah.
Jen was also a better Bengal. It's like Nancy's a better county employee, but they gave me bars to look up to and reach for. So,
Wow.
but yeah, I've been here 2.5 years, and it's been great.
Well, if I could ask commissioners, just in the short time that I've been here, what can I do? What would you like me to know? What should I hear, if you wouldn't mind me asking that?
I like everything you said, so I look forward to further discussions. I'm a whiteboard guy myself, so
Okay.
you piqued my interest there.
Okay, good, good.
That's why I was giving you the look. I thought you guys were gonna have a race to the
just communication.
Okay.
That's the key for all of us. We just need to be positive and work in a positive direction with each other and make better. Both sides, and there isn't sides, I guess.
Yeah.
This is how we move forward, and we make progress in our areas, so that we help one another. And so communication, and if you have any concerns, or if we have any concerns, we make a phone call and we get together and we have that discussion.
Well, I would be open, and again, I'll let you decide if you would like to do this, but I am open to standing meetings, to regularly scheduled meetings, rather than they can always be ad hoc at any time, but I would be open to regularly scheduled meetings where I come. I not only present if there's specific things that you would like me to talk about, or, but yes, I'm open to that. In fact, I would prefer that. I think that allows for some accountability on my part, to be able to come to you and say, okay, since the last time we met, this is where we're at, this is what we are doing, this is what we are working on. So I'd love to get into a cadence.
Okay, how often would you like to do that?
We met with President Saturday, once a quarter?
It's typically quarterly. Yeah.
Okay.
And we split duties. We come to you once in a
Okay.
while too. So
I'd be just fine if we wanted to start quarterly and see how that goes, and then if we want to increase the frequency, I'd be open to allowed to do, but sure, quarterly sounds great.
Okay. You and Braden will get together and,
If there are working sessions that you have, discussions, specific things, though, please know that you can reach out to me anytime and say, hey, we're debating, we're talking, we're discussing this. We'd love to know where ISU stands, or what they can do, what they contribute. You call, I'll be down here.
that's wonderful.
Yes, thank you.
We had good relationships with President Satterley too.
Good.
I mean, he was always available. So,
Good.
and Jen's always been great to reach out to me too. So I always appreciate working with Jen. It helps that we had a relationship prior to that, but it's always been good.
Good.
And I don't think we've ever had any difficulties working our offices. So
Good. Well, Tracy and I are just, again, we're absolutely thrilled to be here. And I can't wait for you to be able to meet her, and we're excited to be engaged in the community and to serve wherever we can.
we sure appreciate it. Anything else?
John?
No, I think I'd echo what my fellow commissioners said, and I especially, though, look forward to talking to you about where we might have common ground regarding legislation. I think that would
Okay.
be an interesting talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's, I've got a lot of experience with state legislators. There's some things we can do. I think there are some opportunities there that I think could speak. I'm going to be spending a lot of summer into fall traveling, meeting with state legislators in their districts. This is something that's really important to me, and I want to build really, really strong relationships. And so far, we've had, I feel like we've had good success. This has been a good session for Idaho State. And we recently received some additional funds from the state legislature that will go towards our physician's assistance program here in Pocatello, which is great, and we'll be able to see some growth and some facilities improvement here on our Pocatello campus. So far this legislative session has been good, but there's more we can do.
Good.
Wonderful. Well,
Thank
with
you.
that,
Thank you.